Well, first of all, thank you for coming to this session. Boy, I'm so excited to be a part of this conference. And being an IT pro today, I started my career as a dev. I started my career as a programmer and assembler. If you don't know what assembler is, you weren't born yet. But these days, I enjoy my line of work, helping customers move through their digital transformation journey. And one thing I find that's very, very important, it doesn't matter if I'm in a conference, in a meeting, conducting training, effectively delivering my content in a public speaking format, in a presentation format is critical. Do you guys feel the same way? You know, it's funny, there was a instance a few years ago. I was in Japan. I had the great opportunity to speak at a SharePoint conference in Japan. And I said, look, you know, SharePoint is great, the conference is great, but I want to make it fun. So after my presentation, I got 800 Japanese audience to stand up and dance Gangnam Style with me. What? You want to learn how to do that? I'm going to teach you how to do that. You see, when we talk about presentation, oftentimes we think we go up the stage, fire up the PowerPoint, show the demos, job done. Well, guess what? That's just a small part of it, friends. Being a presenter involves wearing multiple hats. When you're a presenter, you wear 5 different hats. First and foremost, you are a learning manager. What does that mean, Dux? A learning manager goal is to make sure whatever you intend your audience to learn as they walk out of the presentation, they will learn that. You're responsible for it. Second, our job as a presenter, you're the expert. You are the technical resource. That's why you're up on stage. So stop thinking, I'm not good enough. I don't know if they're going to listen to me. I don't know if my presentation, my demo is up to snuff. Stop whining. You are selected, you are chosen to be up on the stage because you are the bomb. The third role you're responsible for as a presenter, you're the company representative. You're responsible to make sure not only you make yourself look good, but you make your organization, Microsoft, the technology look good. You know, if you're not sure if you're doing that, one simple question you ask yourself. If I'm up on stage presenting or doing a training or in a meeting, whatever I say or do, will I make my mom proud? If the answer is yes, you're a good company representative. The fourth key role you're responsible for is you have to be a coach. People walking out of your presentation should feel motivated, excited, and they should feel good that they're going to conquer the world. They can do this. The last thing you want is somebody walking out of your presentation, be it cognitive services, Azure, compliance, and say, wow, this sucks. It's so hard. I'm not even going to look at that. That's not the point. And last but not the least, you are responsible to be the host. You are responsible to make sure people that's listening to you feels comfortable. I mean, let me ask you, buddy, what's your name? Paul. Have you hosted parties at your house?
A few.
A few, right? So when I get to your house, if I get invited, let's say a holiday party, what's the first thing you're going to tell me?
Ask if you want a beer.
Yeah, Doug, so let me take your coat. What kind of drinks do you want? Hard liquor, beer, coffee, right? How does that make me feel?
At home.
At home, how does that make you feel? You're welcome, right? I don't know if you remember the first house party you went to, you're like, you know, I don't know what I'm walking into. I don't know the crowd. I don't know the host. I don't know if I'm going to pay attention. But the fact if you're a welcoming host sets the stage in a good way. So now that you know what your responsibilities are as a presenter, let me walk you through the 5 steps on how you can be a rock star presenter. Step 1, as you put together your presentation for a conference, a training, a sales meeting, an executive briefing, you have to intentionally prepare. And intentional preparation starts from day one. The way you write your title, the way you describe your presentation is very, very important. Your title should be short and relevant. And the reason why, because we're in the day and age of Twitter. It has to be tweetable, it has to be shareable. And second, it has to be specific and relevant. What I would suggest, especially in the technical world, you use numerical values and make sure it's no more than 7. What do you mean, Dux? If you pay attention to a lot of my presentation, my blog posts, it's always how to be a rock star presenter in 5 steps. 3 ways to migrate to Office 365. 8 proven techniques to cleanse unstructured data. Y'all with me? 2 reasons why that's important. It can never be more than 7 because at any given point in time, scientific research has proven that we can only hold 7 plus or minus 2 things in our head. So if you have a session, 99 ways to deploy Azure, forget it. I'm serious. Because if I'm looking at that, I can't do that. Y'all with me? And then at the same time, if you want to do a session, best practices on driving adoption versus 5 proven techniques to drive adoption in 2 weeks, which one would you pick? Right? The fact of the matter is, most people don't even read the description. They read the title. I mean, if I show you all my presentations this week, I have a couple presentations, I want to share with you. Look. How to be a rock star public speaker in 5 steps. How to achieve 90% Microsoft Teams in 3 months. Who went to that session earlier? Raise your hand. How was that? It was good, right? How to ensure operational governance. Because in the end, I want to walk away with something that's doable for me. Y'all with me? Next, when you write your description, it's important that you be very specific. This is the formula I use to write my description. What's the business outcome? What's the session content? And who the audience is. For example, need to increase your CRM sales pipeline? Outcome. In this session, you will get an insider's view from the most successful CRM partners when it comes to finding and closing new opportunities. That's the content. This session is designed for experienced partners who are looking to take their sales to the next level. Audience. You may have attendees in your training or your boss in that briefing that they want to know what they're going to walk away with. The title, while it's important, the description is critical. The more concise it is, the less fluff you put, the better. Now, as you put your presentation together, I have this development guideline that I use, okay? It works for me. I've been at this for the last 18 years, and it's spot on. So how do I put together my PowerPoint presentation? First, we have to identify the framework. You always start with what the problem is, what the need is, what the solution you offer, and it's important to have a call to action. You need people to leave thinking, I gotta do this. And then, as you put your slides together, first and foremost, no sentences. Phil, why do I not recommend sentences in a slide?
Because you end up reading it.
He said, because I would end up reading it. Absolutely. So for those of you doing last-minute presentation development, going to MSDN, copying and pasting paragraph onto the slide, stop. Because unconsciously people will read it, they won't pay attention to the person talking. With just phrases and bullets and pictures, unless I say something, you don't have a clue what I'm talking about. In each slide, make sure you only have 9 bullets max. Now, don't play games with Dux. Are you talking about like 9 main bullets and 9 sub-bullets? No. 9 bullets total. Because 7 plus minus 2, I can't remember everything. 18-point font minimum. Again, don't play the font game on me. Well, I need to fit everything. I'll make it 8 points. You've been there. I don't even have to ask, raise your hand. And this is the money shot right here. Listen, are you guys listening? I get asked all the time, Docs, how many slides should I put together? Here's my rule of thumb. If I'm doing a demo, and when I say demo, I bring my computer up, show stuff, my rule of thumb is each slide is worth 3 minutes. So for an hour presentation, how many slides can I have? 20. Y'all with me? If you're not doing a demo, just straight PowerPoint, my rule of thumb is 2 minutes a slide, so 30 slides an hour. That's it. Well, that's hard, Docs. It is. But you have to do it because this is the reason. By tomorrow, only half of what I said is what you'll remember. 2 days from now, you'll only remember a quarter of what I said. For your long-term memory, you will only remember 11% of what I said. The question is, which 11% do you want your audience to remember? When I learned about this 15 years ago, it just changed the way I put presentations together. Because we all feel like we got to cram everything. No. You put in what's valuable. To prove my point, if your content is an hour presentation, you max it out, 9 bullet points per slide, 20 slides an hour, that's 180 points. Long-term memory, people will only remember about 20 points of those bullets. Is this helpful? What do you guys think so far? Helpful? Yeah. Awesome. So, you got to intentionally prepare for step 1. Step 2, gain time. You're about to go up on stage, you're about to do your presentation or training or workshop. You got to have a solid opening. The reason why, especially if people don't know you, they will only give you maximum 1 minute. 1 minute to decide if they're going to listen or not. It's subconscious. And after that, if they decide, I don't like what I hear, they'll just passively pay attention. You got 1 minute to make an impression. So how do you do that, right? First of all, as people are coming in, talk to them. Exercise your host role. Make people feel comfortable. Don't stay behind the podium with your head down. I wish it's going to start. I wish we should start. No. Talk. Not only does it make people comfortable, here's my little secret. I get nervous all the time when I'm up on stage. I know it's obvious. I talk to people always. Because if I start feeling nervous, right, I'll make an eye contact with my buddy Phil, and it makes me feel more relaxed. It works. Next, just greet people. It doesn't have to be all stuck up and formal. Hey, how are you doing? How do you like the keynote this morning? Boy, wasn't that something when Ron Markowitz showed the blurring of Teams? That's cool. Are you guys using Teams? Or, oh wow, you're from Sweden. How's the weather? Just chit chat, right?
It's cold.
It's cold, right? And as you get going, you start with an opening pitch and opening hook. Quickly establish your expertise. Hey guys, my name is Docs. I've been doing this in the last 16 years, and boy, I'm so excited to share this with you. Do not start with, hey, my name is Docs. I'm a Microsoft MVP, RD, Run DMC. I'm with a BG in engineering. And oh, by the way, I used to work for this sub. You know those people. Don't be like them. People will decide if you've got the goods when you start presenting. So start right away. And as you start, it's important to have a hook. Hey, do you guys know how I got 800 Japanese audience to dance with me? That got you, right? What's your hook? And then lastly, set realistic expectations. You're going to learn 5 things and you're off to the races. A lot of us don't value or pay attention on how we open, but it sets the rest of the session. And then as you deliver, step 3, You got to have an interactive delivery. So just to recap, right? What's step one? Intentional preparation. Step two, proactive opening. Step three, have an interactive delivery. So as you deliver, here's another fascinating science. As people pay attention, they'll only focus 5 minutes tops. So if you don't change up what you're doing, they'll zone out. What do you mean by changing up, docs? Changing up by either doing a demo, asking questions, telling stories. You gotta change up what you're doing. It's important. And for me, what's effective is using analogies, telling stories. So for example, you guys would appreciate this. You guys remember when ASP.NET came out back in the mid-90s, right? At that time, I was a dev, I was using Java, and I saw ASP.NET. I go, it's great. I was going to sell my service to customers, but the problem is, to the people I'm selling to, they can't understand the technical nitty-gritty of ASP.NET. So here's how I explained it. I said, hey, customer, Thanksgiving is coming. Every Thanksgiving, I go and visit my Aunt Lilia and her family. You see, my Aunt Lilia makes the best chicken parmesan in the world, ever. So what I would do is right around noon when she starts cooking, I would sit in the kitchen, just wait and talk to her and watch her cook. So as it comes out, I'll be the first person to sample and taste this exquisite chicken parmesan. 2 hours later, good, true enough, it comes out, I enjoy it. And for some reason, my cousin has some spidey smell that exactly a minute before it comes out, he comes running in and he sits down and eats it with me as well. Does my cousin have to wait for 2 hours? No. Well, that's how ASP.NET works. What? You see, when you first write your ASP server.NET web application that sits on the server, the first time the client makes a call, the page loads, it compiles. It takes a little longer, but it compiles. But once it loads the first time, subsequent requests, it's very fast. You can enjoy and taste chicken parmesan without cooking it over and over and over. Does that work? You see, you can never go wrong with food. Nobody gets offended with food, so always use food. Now, share experiences. Nobody expects you to be perfect. People expect you to be a subject matter expert, not a subject matter perfectionist. Tell them how you messed up. Tell them what didn't work, and that's what people want. If you're here this week and you're just regurgitating on what's on MSDN, forget it. You got to present and talk about challenges you've faced, what lessons you've learned, but more importantly, how you fixed it. People would appreciate that. Step 4. As you're delivering interactively, it's also important to facilitate engagement. You got to engage with the audience because engagement helps people learn better. How do you do that? There's multiple ways to engage and interact with the audience. You can ask questions, you could do little learning activities or trivia, and obviously you could do demos. There's a whole separate session how to build demos, but what I want to focus on is one of the most simple things that we don't really do really well, which is asking questions. It's so simple, it's so powerful, but we don't do it effectively. So let me talk about this. There are two types of questions that you use. One is what's called open-ended question. There's no right or wrong answer. The reason why you want to use open-ended question is to get some level of, change it up, get people to engage. So for example, who loved Keynote this morning? All right, put your hands down. Who's from Europe? There you go, all right? So that kind of changed stuff up, that 5-minute window. So that's open-ended question. The second type of question are closed-ended question, and this is important for people to learn, right? So this drives engagement, this drives and facilitates learning. The type of questions you can ask, for example, the first one is called rhetorical question. This is asking yourself, hey, Dux, what's the first 3 steps again You know, first 3 steps: intentional preparation, proactive opening, interactive delivery. There's a purpose for that. Why did I just do that? To reinforce, to repeat, because I want that to be the 11% you remember. Y'all with me? Group questions are typically same as the along the open-ended. You know, who's from Europe, who's from US, who's migrated to SharePoint 2016. And then targeted question is powerful. It's powerful because people can learn. Number 2, people can feel good if done right. So how do you do targeted questions, docs? So this is the model on how you do targeted question. You first ask the question, okay? You first ask the question. What does ADG stands for in the Microsoft compliance and security landscape? All right? So you ask the question. And then you pause. And then you look around, and first thing you want to check is if you find people kind of nodding their head, looking away, that means don't call me, don't call me, don't call me. And you don't want to call them because you don't want to set them up for embarrassment or failure. And you look around, and if somebody's still intently looking at you, right? You know, hey, call me, call me. So what does ADG stand for in the landscape of Microsoft 365 security? I look around. Sean? So Sean says advanced data governance, which is absolutely correct. Let's give Sean a big round of applause. That's how it works. You don't just say, hey, Sean, let me ask you a question, right? How do you say advanced data governance in Chinese? Not that way, right? Question, pause, target, repeat, and then reward. Now, last step. We talked about intentional preparation, proactive opening, facilitate engagement, interactive delivery, and this is equally as important when you begin. You got to have a motivational closing. Remember, people have to feel good when they leave, excited, motivated, knowing that they could do this, right? So how do you do it? First, you got to make sure that you're keeping track of your slides. Formal closure is important. You got to wrap it up and summarize the key points. And this is why, friends, I'm very disciplined on how many slides I have. How many sessions have you been to and it's 10 minutes and it's done? Suddenly there's like 90 more slides to go. Oh, we got it. People won't feel good. They won't walk away motivated. There should be a call to action. Download Azure today. Try Azure Information Protection P2 right now. Make sure you start enabling AAD, and here's the link. And encourage people to fill out the session evaluation because this is important not only for the conference organizers, but for the speakers as well. And this is, especially today, very important. Regardless if you're in a conference or doing a training or doing a executive briefing, make sure you offer up to connect beyond the session. You provide resources, connect on LinkedIn or Twitter, or network and engage. I mean, we still have 4 days to go here. There's so much opportunities to connect. What do you guys think? Useful? Yeah. So here's a question for you though. Are you ready to take these 5 steps? Who's ready to take these 5 steps? No, keep your hand. I didn't say put it down. All right. If you raise your hand, stand up. Stand up. All right. My call to action. Let's do these 5 steps. I'm going to show you what this looks like, and I'm going to teach you how to do this. Hold on. Oh, 1 second. All right, so, all good, right? Now, No. All right, it's here. Oh, I got it. All right, these 5 steps. There you go. So, finally. Now, if we look at these 5 steps. There you go. So, let me show you what this looks like. And then we'll do it.
Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever.
All right, so let me teach you the 5 steps. Let's do this. What's step 1? Intentional preparation. When you do step 1, this is step 1, right? You kind of bob. Step 1, intentional preparation. Kiki. Step 2, what's step 2? Proactive opening. Proactive opening, do you love me? All right. Interactive delivery is step 3. Are you riding like you're riding a car? All right. Step 4, facilitate engagement. You never ever leave me. And then step 5, motivational closing, beside me. All right? You guys ready? All right, let's do this. 5 steps to be a rock star presenter. All right.
Kiki, do you love me?
Come on, let's do it.
Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. 'Cause I want you.
All right, thank you guys. You've been a good sport.
Down for you always, KB.
But with that, here's my contact info. And now you know how I got my Japanese audience to dance, and I hope you could do that too. Thank you.